Let's get down to business.
You know what? The whole time I was thinking of that song, "You'll Bring Honor to Us All."
You know what's funny? I hated the fucking music for damn near all of these except for Aladdin, which was acceptable. I was kind of like anticipating it for this one.
Yeah. The thing about these Disney live action, it's like some of them, they take a more like grounded approach and some of them like have the musicals. I mean, I'm not saying that it needs to be consistency, but it's like, I mean, why do it for some and not for all of them?
I think because it just don't translate well to some of them.
That shit probably would look real stupid in this movie.
With this tone, it ain't no fucking way.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cinecism. I'm Eric.
It's your boy Dante, man, and today we're going to be doing a review on Disney's Mulan.
Mulan is, of course, a live-action remake of a Disney classic. Mulan focuses on a young girl who disguises herself as a warrior to take her father's place in the war because he's old and kind of decrepit and just not fit to fight in this. I mean, he is. You seen him? You seen him, bro.
He had a leg brace, bro. I wouldn't qualify that as decrepit.
He could barely walk. He walked and fell. Yeah. It's basically about this girl that's discovering who she is, finding like the power within herself and not being what everybody else wants her to be.
It's also challenging for her as well because given the time period, of course, it's not a lot of expectations from women to be powerful individuals.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be kind of seen and not
it's unheard of.
Exactly. Right. In fact, it's illegal for her. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this could lead to death.
Yeah, they mentioned that a few times. It's a lot that's at stake for her personal well-being and for her family, like the honor of her family as well. So it takes a lot of courage for her to actually try to fight in her father's place.
Liu Yifei plays Mulan. She is very non-traditional, just doesn't conform. She's not a girly girl. She's more of like a tomboy. She's very physical.
You know, just a non-traditionalist girl. She kind of looked at as a weirdo. Yeah, she also seems to be very much in touch with what they mentioned as the chi. She's born with just innate abilities for a fighter.
They don't really explicitly define the extent of her abilities in this movie. They kind of...
Whatever the story needed.
Yeah, anytime she does anything that's seemingly physically impossible, they just blame it on the chi.
Charge it to the chi.
And then you have her dad.
Yeah. He's a retired military, an older gentleman, as we mentioned before, and you know, he's not in poor health, but he's certainly not in fighting condition.
Not even close.
And because he's the only male of the household, women aren't allowed to fight in war. So he's obligated to actually go off to war. But him and Mulan have a great relationship. Her mom seems a little bit more impartial to her behavior. He seems to encourage it. Like he wants her to, at least when she was younger, like encourage her to really embrace her abilities and whatnot.
He low-key like proud of her.
Yeah.
And, like he likes the way she is, but it's like he got to put on a front for other people to appear like displeased with her actions.
Because it ain't acceptable. Like we say, a lot of this shit against the law. So I think he's not trying to get them murked out.
You want to talk about the villain and the witch? The main villain is Khan. Khan is corroborating with this witch. Correct me if I'm wrong. She's a new character, right?
Yes.
She was not in the original animated movie.
The hawk that she turns into was in the original movie, but in the original it was just an animal. It wasn't an actual witch.
Pretty much working with this witch to lead this attack on the emperor. He's a villain. I mean, he's evil. It's not a whole lot of depth to him.
It was supposed to be like a get back for something that was done to his people prior. It's not a whole lot of detail provided, but that's like the bare bone information that you get is that his people were wronged and this is kind of like a revenge crusade.
Yeah. That's what he say. But he just, I mean, he just look evil anyway.
Yeah, oh my God. Boy, did he. Then he had like that eyeshadow like he was Prince.
Yeah. Then you got the witch who is basically working for him, which doesn't really make sense to me considering her power.
Yeah.
It's like why is she even serving this dude when she could do all this shit on her own if this is even what she wanted to do? What were her motives for even being part of this?
Right.
To be accepted?
And then it's like, to work with him is one thing, but she was like his subordinate. Like if you got the powers that you claim you have,
like that we've seen her display,
from this human man, you see an infinite amount of ability.
Yeah,
he can't do nothing but fight with a sword. I didn't understand that.
Then
like you said, that was the reasoning that they gave though, so that she could be accepted because witches were shunned, and he was like, if he takes over China, then she'll be accepted. I'm like, why don't you take over China? you'll really be accepted.
The villains just, I mean, I don't know, man.
They were poor.
Yeah, they just didn't, I didn't care about their motives.
Yeah, just move along. Not you. I'm just saying.
No, I know. Nah, I didn't take it that way.
Some key moments in here to me were just the scenes where Mulan was actually fighting. The effects and everything was really cool.
This movie was done by, was it directed by the guy that did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon?
I think you're right, yeah.
I like the witches fight scenes. I thought her shit visually looked probably the best. Visually, the movie looked great.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
Another key moment for me, man, I really enjoyed the end scene where she actually came back home and her dad walked out and saw her and she was kind of apologetic to him, and she thought he was going to be really upset, but it was like an emotional scene. He was just really happy that she was home. He didn't care nothing about anything else that she was talking about.
That does bring me to another scene. When the father went to go accept the document of him being drafted into the war, I thought that was a pretty emotional moment.
Yeah.
I felt bad for him. Like, it was kind of sad. The powerful head of his family is now in just a more feeble, broken state in his older age. I thought that was kind of sad.
And then in front of the village. Like,
and in front of his
everybody
family.
was out there.
Yeah, that's what made it worse.
Mulan went to help him up. His mom was like, no. Like, if you do that, that'll embarrass him.
Making it worse.
Yeah. So the mom had me tripping, yo. She have no faith in nothing. The dad was going off to war because he had pretty much accepted it. He was like, look, this is my duty. I got to go. I don't have a son. She was like, he left the dinner table. She was pretty much like, well, we don't expect him to return.
Right.
I was like, what? Like, that's your pep talk to your daughter?
That was life, I guess, man.
She was like, we don't expect him to return. What type of shit is that to tell your daughters? Like, you ain't gonna say it's a God.
She was keeping it real with him, man. Ain't no point in sugarcoating the shit. You seen him. So I guess the major negative for me was, and this could be personal taste, I just didn't feel that invested or connected to anybody. Not even Mulan. It was something there that was missing for me. Some movies just translate better in animated form. Mulan has never been my favorite Disney movie. It definitely had more memorable scenes in the animated version.
These remakes, that's where they are at a disadvantage because you constantly comparing it to another version that is usually far superior. Like, none of these live action versions, in my opinion, have stacked up to any of their animated counterparts. It wasn't a lot for me to connect to in this. The best relationship that you was going to get in this movie was Mulan to the father. When she went off to fight, I didn't feel like she established a relationship with any of them, like in the original
Right, with the other soldiers?
Yeah, she had established kind of a camaraderie with them. She was more so in this, like, distancing herself, which made sense because, of course, she was trying to keep a low profile and not be discovered. But it took something away from the relationships.
I guess my biggest question for you is, what did you think of the exclusion of Mushu in this movie?
Felt like they tried to use that Phoenix to substitute for Mushu. Mushu wouldn't have fit in this movie, but it was missing. I mean, could you imagine?
No, that's what I just did. That's why I started laughing, because all I can hear is Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, right. In this, it wouldn't have made no sense.
I don't know, man. I feel like they might have could have got him in there some way. Not in his original form. Yeah. Absolutely not.
Yeah, not.
But I feel like with the elements they had in there, it could have. I mean, they could have definitely included him in some capacity.
That's what's missing, Mushu, because Mushu's he wasn't only the comedic relief, he was the companion on her journey. Like, she had that cricket. She had Mushu, she had the horse. Like, it was just a lot of other things that she had a connection to that had a personality. But Mushu was with her the whole time and he knew her secret. So it's like they were constantly talking and I don't know. Yeah, it was like that element of somebody else being there along on her journey. Because them other people that they threw in the mix were just distant. That's
true, because usually when they have like a companion like that, they're able to convey a lot more emotional moments and, project some of their inner feelings, because I mean, it's a lot more dialogue and more material to work with. Correct. Because in this movie, she was more on her own.
Yeah, that element, like you said, that brought out a lot more of her character because we got to see her more in vulnerable moments. Yeah. Like, it was a lot just unsaid in this movie. Like, it was a lot of just body language in terms of how she felt uncomfortable and things like that. But she didn't have nobody to talk to about it because she was in hiding.
She couldn't talk to
couldn't say nothing. So, how'd you feel about the lack of the songs?
Now, the songs definitely, I don't think would have worked in this movie. No. So, but The thing about Disney songs for me is like, I can take them or leave them as long as the movie is good.
My main thing is that they don't have a great track record of translating these songs to live action. So that's all I kept thinking about. If the track record was better and they were doing it and had a consistency about doing it well, I would have certainly missed it. But I didn't miss it in this because I was like, please don't sing. Like after seeing some of these other movies, I was like, don't sing in this.
What do you think has been the best like live action Disney remake movie so far?
For me personally, I don't personally like any of them. If I was going to pick, I'd say Aladdin did it the best.
For real?
From what I've seen, yes. Beauty and the Beast wasn't. Okay, what you got? Oh, well, the Jungle Book.
That's the one I was going to say.
Yeah, I be forgetting about the
Me
Jungle
too, because
Book.
it was like one of the earlier ones.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was like one of the earlier.
A whole nother category. Yeah, the Jungle Book did it well.
I feel like that one far exceeded any that came after.
Yeah,
to me,
that's
they had the music in there and everything, and I enjoyed the music in there.
Correct.
Too, so,
and the way that they did it wasn't like in a lot of scenes. It wasn't full on. They would kind of do it. I be forgetting about Jungle Book. If I was gonna pick, I'd pick the Jungle Book. Yeah. And that was the best live action remake that they've done.
Yeah, that's the best one I can think of.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Overall, Mulan, I mean, it was a decent movie. I'm probably gonna forget this movie in probably like a couple of weeks, honestly. It wasn't horrible, but it just can't compare to the original. I'm gonna give Mulan a 7 out of 10.
I thought this movie was cool, man. It's hard to not compare it to the original Mulan. What I will say is that to me, this was one of the better remakes. I actually enjoyed this movie. I did, especially in comparison to the other ones that have been released. I would give this movie a 7 as well. It's definitely a solid watch. It's something that's enjoyable for the family, I think. And kids will probably like this movie. Do you think it was worth the $30?
Well, the thing about the $30, well, let me explain.
Well, see, when you say $30,
that's an aspect to consider. If you're watching it with a family, yeah 100%, absolutely. Which is what we did. Yeah. Then by all means, that's literally the only circumstance in which this is acceptable. But if you're watching this shit by yourself, I would not pay $30 to see this by myself. No. Absolutely not. So thanks everybody for tuning in to our review of Disney's Mulan. Hope y'all enjoyed that. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And if you'd like to see any additional content as far as reviews, throwback reviews as well now, to movies, shows, or trailers, feel free to drop a comment below. If you guys have seen the remake, what did you think? Did you enjoy it? Was it worth the $30? How do you feel like it compares to the original Mulan? I'd like to know what y'all's favorite Disney remake has been so far. We appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, thank y'all. Peace. Peace.